everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing the blue-black mythic. The blue-black deck that made it to mythic. I saw Dr. Ruckus talking about it as he's going through a couple of lists that have held mythic spots in the last season. But this list had a 70+% win rate. I do not know how to find a player, and I am kind of trying to get this outro and intro done right now. But we're going to be playing this. We played it before. This is a very solid list. Has a lot of consistency in it, with a couple of one-ofs being a few removal spells of choice. So you can obviously change those however you would like. And it obviously revolves around Enduring Curiosity and Kaito, and being a very good kind of synergy there. So with that said, we're going to dive in, player games. I do a very long outro in today's video, and I have one question. And it's because my local people who watch my channel have asked, because they asked me if I wanted to do it. I've talked about doing paper content a bit, playing standard. We actually have a couple people that show up. BV has been kind of GA'd by the store, where most of the players are like, hey, as long as nobody plays it, nobody else will play it. And we kind of all agreed to do that. We have the capability to record paper Magic, and I could upload it. I don't upload Sunday anyway, so I could just have those matches come out on Sunday, or maybe have a couple come out throughout the week where, you know, it's kind of a live paper experience with me playing with a couple of my friends. And if that's something you're into, let me know. We'll totally see how that goes, obviously. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed the matches, and let's go play. All right, going first. This hand's pretty sweet. Obviously, the black mana being painful sucks a little bit, but we'll lead off a Deep Cavern Bat to try to negate that a little bit. Maybe. I try to fix my headphones. Help, please. Headphones. Any headphoners? Oh, yay. Everybody's hero. Now I can chalk this in. Maybe I should have. It would just save me maybe damage in the long run. Yeah, who would have thought? It's Vivi Cauldron. They're going to lead off with Pross. We have to take the Cauldron. I mean, I guess I could have Tidebindered it. But if they play it, it's just a little bit tough. I can long goodbye something. I can Phantom Interference their turn 2 play. It's just going to be one of those games where it's just really boring because of the matchup we're against, unfortunately. But sure. They don't go for Pross, which honestly surprises me. Back here. Go ahead. This only shuts off artifacts, right? Artifact, creature, or planeswalker. If they go for profs, I might let it. Just gonna counter the ability. I want pressure on the board, I think. Because now we can long goodbye the fear. We can long goodbye fear here. It still counters it. It doesn't matter if they remove my Tidebinder. So this does literally nothing. It's just giving me another Tidebinder. Alright, so now I can do the thing where I counter and long goodbye. This is instant. Might as well shock in, attack. Pass it up. Obviously, this isn't guaranteed to counter anything, but I think I'll take that. Auto resolve. Oh, they did have a land. Shoot this because it has Delirium. Getting kind of everything we want here. Now it's the argument, do I hold the Tidebinder or do I play Preacher? And I think I do. Or hold the Tidebinder. The reason why is to counter this so they don't get extra draws off the prof. Tidebinder putting in about as much work as it ever could. Sure. Denying that for sure. It'll still warp and go away, I think. Actually, I don't know. Warp stay? Am I crazy? I actually don't know. It's highlighted like it is. This is a learning moment for everybody. I think it has to go away. Fair enough. Yeah. Alright, cool. That matters a lot. And now We're in another interesting spot. Could be very, very well foreshadowed what I'm doing, but they could have blocked thinking maybe I had a Kaito or something, but they don't, which is fine. Go Preacher here, hold up our Nowhere to Run. I don't know about second Tidebinder. Only shut that off. They could play another Riddler, and maybe that'd be fine for them. Sure. Oh no, not VV. Sure. Where to run. Pop that. If Mako attacks, we're 100% blocking. I puts it. Are we 5, 6, 7, 8? Yeah. I think we'd 100% block. This Tidebinder is not really doing much now, but I guess it can hold the block. But if I draw a good card off this, I kind of want it to be attacking, right? But then it attacks for no reason if I don't hit a good card. These all make contact. Another bat comes in to maybe hit something good in their hand. Another Riddler sucks, man. VV in this hand isn't as impressive. So I'm going to take the Riddler, weirdly enough. We'll just play here. Go ahead. If they play VV, like, what's going on with that? It's only open to removal then. They attack, I just let it happen. That's fine. Go for it. You get to counter the ability. I don't know where this ends up going, but they can't activate Cauldron again while this is on the battlefield. He is now gone forever. And we just need probably Enduring or a land, you know? The good stuff. Another land, you know, the good stuff. Remember, it's shut off kind of permanently here. And if they bounce this, I get to flash it back in. They would have to, they can actually do it in a cool way, I guess. No. There's no way for them to do anything. Alright, Vivi. You're kind of just a generic creature right now. See the action. And a Mako. Sure. Uh-huh. Cauldron cannot be activated. They have 3 blocks. So 1, 2, and 3. That can hit me all day. I'm not making that mistake. My turn. Could be enough for lethal, I think. Well, they don't have good blocks regardless, I guess. Yeah, they don't have good blocks regardless. I guess mill them, even though it doesn't really matter. Dude, can I stop drawing lands, though? That is one way for me to lose. They have to double block. Doesn't really matter what they do. Cauldron shut off. Yeah, I think I have it regardless because they attacked, right? Yeah, sweet. Good attack, but we take it. Very cool. Almost flooded out of the game, which is crazy. But we get there, and they needed to hit one more land for that Quantum Riddler to be incredible. If that Riddler would have came in and done its work, we would have got blown out. But who would have thought Tidebinder coming out to stomp the best deck in the format? All right, we will keep. Let's just see what it is once again. I've lost my last couple of games by hitting my 2 land drops on Mauls and then immediately not hitting any more lands. But fortunately enough here, it looks like we did. I was stuck on 2 lands against the Jeskai artifact decks. And then I was on 2 lands against blue-white control and just never hit the 3rd, which is obviously unfortunate, but it is what it is. In this matchup, 100%, we're going to ninjutsu this in. I think it's just 4-color control if I had to guess. We're going to keep digging for our lands. I'm going to bend 1 and take the reef. I think the reef's just good here. Now, hopefully they don't have a great way to answer my Kaito. 4 damage doesn't seem like something they have access to. Nowhere to run could be a factor. We hit another land, so we're definitely going to be wanting to look for more relevant cards. I just talked about Shieldred's Edict, which is kind of crazy. Alright, no more lands. Honestly, I don't even think Siren's worth keeping here. I think I want better cards than that. And speaking of better cards, I could shock that in, but it might be worth just shocking in. We're way better off probably flashing in both of these on end step and then playing a Curiosity after. We don't have any counter magic held up, so I am just barreling here. It might answer my Kaito now. 3 steps ahead, hard counterspell. Sure. Let's play the Drowner. Number 2. Now my hand's getting to that point where it's really solid, and I think I want to play this. I think I just want to do as much damage as possible now. It could have a bounce spell, but I'm not playing around with all that. Yeah. All right, sweet. I figured that was going to be enough to get them to concede. I don't know how they beat that, but yeah, it turns out if I hit my land drops, I feel pretty confident in my games. So that's pretty sweet. All right, opponent goes first. We will keep. Fortunately, we'll probably have to play tap land on 1. Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah, I didn't think we would hit a land drop, but always nice to try. Slick shot, sure. A little bit of trouble here, of course. This is a weird one where I kind of want to go deep Cavern Bat. But I also kind of want to just Phantom Interference, but if they don't do anything, I think I just wait and I try to counter this next thing they do. Like if they go for like a Screaming Nemesis or something. Or that. Seems just good in general. Full wave, yeah, it's pretty tough. But the idea was maybe they would have removal for my Deep Cavern Bat, and Deep Cavern Bat can typically fight some stuff off in terms of like damage being dealt. All lands in hand. All right, who's ready for the top deck? Burst Lightning. Here, weirdly enough, it might even be worth double blocking the Slick Shot, but I don't know if that's true. Yeah, I don't even think I can be used on anything. Mouse, otter, lizard, raccoon. Not blocking yet. It's so likely this is a removal spell. Yeah. So we would have got blown out. All right, well, now we're in it. A land I wouldn't even be upset with. Okay. What feels like kind of obvious reasons. Let's hit for 1, gain a little. I could go for like Preacher here, but we'll see. What's up? I could also just Flood Pits, tap down the Slick Shot, and then threaten to block the Percussionist with my 1/1. Sure. At 5 here. Okay. Sure. I don't know what they could draw that can just kill me from 4 here. Here. Is it better just to leave these, actually? Yeah, I don't think giving him a card is better by any means. Play second Deep Cavern Bat here. Obviously, they have nothing. Combat here. I think I'm better off just stunning it next turn. Done. I have to block here because 1 damage could put me dead. Dead draw. It's like weird because it's like a dead draw, but it's such a good draw at the same time for them. Combat. Here and here. Because I'm afraid of their draw, kind of terrified of the draw, I'm going to shuffle this away. Okay, so they're going for a shock here. Shock can resolve. This, however, I'm not letting him get 1 more card draw. We could even... Oh, if it's not there, this... Oh, yeah, because the target's gone. Nice. What a weird way to win. Yeah, I mean, this is a very good-looking hand. If this hand fails, it's my fault. Or Arena. It's one of the two, you know? Or this is a matchup that just is built to deal 1 damage to every one of my creatures, which I've been running into a lot of. Weapon manufacturing randomly showing up a ton and just pulling me out the room. Perfect draws. I think I played against one player that never had less than 7 cards in their hand somehow. How you can riddle me that happening, I'll never know. We're going to have to probably shock this in eventually anyway. Should I just, like, play everything? I think so. Especially with, like, an Enduring Curiosity coming up, right? Or maybe it's Flood Pits, Double Siren after. Because I guess that's equally as mana efficient. But then I can activate maps after that. And they're not all softly removed by random stuff. I don't really care about removing the miner. I care about getting Curiosity in for max value. Done. Sure. These can't block. Well, kudos, brother. We have the same hand. Let's go here, maybe. We need to bend that. We basically have to find a land for this hand with Enduring Curiosity. Well, we miss. Kind of fully here. Now this can block, so that is good. Which is weird, but untap land here can save everything, maybe. I say maybe lightly. Crazy that my hand that was unlosable that I said is becoming losable. Pretty quick. This is a Corpse of the Lost and I'm getting tanked. I'm going to lose my mind. Okay. Weird on the fact that they didn't quite... They don't need a land drop. They play this, which could technically defend their life total. Whereas here they got to commit a crime. This is dying regardless, but they have to pay 2 life to do it. But and it's only 1 mana and they get another good attack. When I'm kind of attacking their life total, I'll let them do that, I guess. Alright, well, we airball this time as well. This is Deep Cavern Bat. Take a look at what's good. I almost don't even want to take it, but I will, because I know not taking it's wrong. Play another one of these. Not really threatened by anything that they're showing, so I'm just attacking. They can't defend with these. Playing these are a bit tough. I should have removed this, but forcing them to pay for it is better than letting it stay around the block, whereas getting rid of the other card, they have to commit a crime to bring it back, and then the other card, and then it still can't block, right? And then the other card, they have to pay 2 black mana, which means they're not going to have removal as effectively, and we're just really close, and this is either going to give us a land or we're going to win the game. I don't know. All right, we're on to play. Hand's pretty good. We will keep. I have a draw piece. I can hopefully put all the VV matches I've been playing behind me. That would be very fun. Or I could play it for the like third or fourth time in a row, and that would also make me incredibly unhappy. So here's a weird thing. We're just going to do this. We're going to attack here. Then end the turn. On their upkeep, we're going to stun this land where Elves down. I could remove it, but I want to commit more to the board. Okay, so I draw an Enduring Curiosity. If they protect this, then great. Fully happy if they use the mana to give this hexproof, I guess. Okay. Sure. Interesting. Okay. Cool. We go first. Very sweet. Painful, but with a Sissel, we're kind of okay with that. It's like the weird thing where it's like, no pain, no gain, brother. If it flips, we're pretty happy if it gets to that point. Obviously, these will help kind of guide us there. Deep Cavern back going to do weird stuff. Just play it out. Let's take a look at what they are. I see a Simic land, which gives us a little bit of info. A Braid. Okay, it's combo. The Flood Maul's annoying. Picklock's annoying. But I think a Braid's the only thing it answers. Tidebinder can shut off the Vitality. Sorta, I guess. Not really. Alright. Well, I can do a little bit of soul searching here. They let me get to combat. They do. Am I flashing in this Tidebinder? It's definitely doing Kaito nonsense, right? I almost want to give them their Braid back. Deep Cavern back for something else. But Sissel can be played along with Tidebinder next turn. And our life total is going to be pretty healthy, hopefully, for the foreseeable future here. Let's look.
Information is its own weapon.
I'm actually not opposed to both of these draws. The land's just good. It helps not allow us to die as easily, I guess. Picklock. Yeah, there he is. Look at him. There he is. Honestly, I respect this. Get me, brother. Sure. That makes sense. I think our next play is pretty obvious. You'd like to stun that. I ain't messing around with that. Back here. Siren. This'll hold up counterspell. Obviously, one of these cards is the Storm card. This isn't getting untapped for a while. We're going to chain it, by the way. We're going to plus here and then probably stun that down again. Right now, our cards don't matter that much. I don't think. Sleight of hand, sure. Obviously, they also have Into the Flood Maul, so they can get a Braid back and then shoot a thing. But if they're not careful, we can counter it. So I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. If I wanted to counter this. But I just think we counter the guy. They don't even have a red. This is their red source. The End of the Flood Mauling that. Is that worth keeping? Probably not, considering I can play it for cheap and I get a fish. Also, just gives me more stun counters, right? If I want to do that. Go to combat here. Over here. Sure, it makes me use my turn. Let's draw. Bad and bad. We'll bottom both of those. And the Bitter Triumph is pretty decent rip. Because now, obviously we're not going to remove this because it's still tapped, right? And Kaito's now reset, so I could stun it again. To go for this, I just counter. Couldn't think of a way out, because if they have Spell Pierce, I guess they would get it, but we'll go straight to combat and end the game. So they have Spell Pierce that can technically enter the battlefield. The Storm Splitter will. And what will happen is they Spell Pierce me, right? And then Storm Splitter enters. They get to make they can cast a 1-mana spell like Sleight of Hand, make another one. And then if they have like an opt off the other one, now they made 2, which then allows them to open up a lot of their chances. This deck's super cool. I honestly played it one time and actually went 6-1 with it, which is kind of crazy. But the deck didn't play Quantum Riddler, and honestly, a lot of times your hand gets really low, like they are kind of in that spot right now. Quantum Riddler would be sick in this deck because of how much card draw it would get you. But that said, we move on. Going first here. Sweet, we'll keep. Gonna be a weird one. Oh, a mulligan helps us out a lot. Being willing to play going into a mulligan, especially if it's a tough maul, helps out quite a bit, because obviously then it helps you get your tempo plays in, especially something like a Kaito. Blue black, maybe the mirror. Unfortunate draw to have, but sure. We could have just played a thing, but we'll see. They could counter this, obviously. Oh, they could remove it. They do not. I will play Swamp. I will go to combat. Yeah. Sure. Now it's interaction Andy time. Annoying, kind of annoying as well. Can't remove this Preacher. So sure, I'll remove Preacher. Go here. Like, if we put Kaito into play and they flash us in to stop us from doing something, then sure, you know, kind of whatever. Shock. Oh, wait. I have my own now. Go to combat. Here. I think I'm just gonna wait. I don't want to get my deep cavern bat targeted any more than it has to be. Sure. What if we do this though? We can play the mirror. We can mirror it out. Because now they can attack and they can Kaito me, but I'm kind of for it here. Blocks. Current kind of has one or more loyalty counters on him. We do some stuff, obviously. Yeah, and vigilance is gone, so they don't even get that good of attack on me. Well, let's shock. I think that is good. Yeah. They could tie binder this, but that's okay. Gives me my good nowhere to run target. I understand this doesn't do anything, but I'm not letting them block too. Alright, I guess we're past blockers, but I can take their tie binder away, hit them for 3. And then now they know I have Kaito to cause some drama. Obviously, it kind of stalls me a turn because it puts a creature back in my hand. But this thing's not permanently removed, right? So, here. Spyglass Siren's in. Oh, now are they going to go defensive here? Yes. Interesting spot to be playing for both of us. Enduring Curiosity will matter a ton for us both. Deep Cavern Bat kind of just sitting here. They play Preacher. This card again, I don't think I can answer all too well. Alright, well, I found an answer. They have 1 card in hand. Just play him. Just play him.
Ha! I love a dramatic entrance.
Stun him down.
Take a break, will ya?
Maybe? Maybe this is a good attack? Could be a bad attack. Might be a bad attack. Go ahead. I mean, I'm kind of foreshadowing what I got going on, but not really gonna much about it regardless. They shock here. Okay. Fair enough. We want them to attack with the Siren because we want to draw a Kaito. Wait, we get what we want. This can come in now. It doesn't really matter. Now we stun here. Enduring Curiosity off the top, please. Ooh, the counter spell that we needed for the last turn. Fortunately. No way to deal excess damage here, so we just attack. And now we look. See if we can't find some removal ourselves. Another Drowner, a Preacher is pretty good. Honestly, both these cards are phenomenal. So I guess I'll take Preacher and I'll shuffle one of these away, maybe? Actually, I don't even think I have to. I think I just need to protect my life total. I'm kind of more on that plan. I think I keep the pressure up and don't let them have any value if I can. Kaito must go if I'm them. Nowhere to run. Gonna answer my flyer, huh? Then answer Kaito. Sure, but I still have the creature land. I have 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we have it covered regardless. They're just on hope I miss it plan. But we don't. We don't miss here. Right, team? Deep Cavern Bat obviously not going to do good, but with that, we get it anyway. We have the damage. Xaxes, good game. Kind of a weird one. We were on to play. Neither of us drew a Curiosity, which typically blows the game out of the water. But yeah, after playing against Vivi a couple of times and just moving on, we kind of rebounded. I just kind of refused to play the matchup. If you want to win for free, just launch Vivi against me, to be honest, bro. All right, we get to go first. Really strong hand. Yeah, we'll keep. It's a weird thing where the shock lands help with this, but realistically, this will never make it there. So the shock land almost doesn't help. But with this hand, we don't draw a land. We're most likely going to shock this in anyway. So we can go from there. Yeah, but we can technically play Siren and then just play this and play Sissel, but yeah, now I'm kind of debating on that because obviously we don't know what we're playing against, but it's okay. What's the worst case? It's red. They bully me a bit. I flip into a 4/4 lifelinker. Authority. Okay. honestly, thankfully, we have this creature in play. Nowhere to run, probably not going to matter. Player Siren, they'll gain a life, sure. Do it here so they can't just target everything. Nowhere to run seems dead in this matchup. We'll bend that, of course. I think I only played 2, so we're out of them for good. Sure. Combat. Now what do we do? Do we deep cavern bat them? I don't think so. I think I just hold Tidebinder. Synthesizer coming down. Or this Pinnacle. This is an ETB trigger, right? You can gain 2 here. Probably me. I don't care about the authorities. I promise you that. Enduring Curiosity would obviously have been sick, but we miss, unfortunately. All-in attack. Comes to bat, that deep the caverns. Man, these authority triggers are not having a good time. Rest in peace, Pinnacle. I will take the Pinnacle. What are the odds that they have another one? I mean, it is a chance, but like, what are the odds that they rip another one here? A Scry with the 3 steps ahead. Committing any more to this board seems bad. Unless it's lethal somehow. I don't think it is, right? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, I guess they gain the life back regardless. I guess if it would cause me not... What a draw, dude. What a draw. I want this to flip, right? We do this. Actually, we can do... No. Lifelink happens at the exact same time as damage. So if we were to do it differently, it wouldn't work. Because this trigger would check and then we wouldn't go below because we'd be at 13. Because it all happens at the same time. I see what you're going to do. You're not tricky enough. You won't get me. It's 4 mana, right? Yeah. Combat. They left this on top, by the way. They think they got it. They think they're slick. We have the counter target spell. They will not copy. And we get there against weird control. I say weird, but I think this is... If I had to guess what this list was, I think this is Covert's list I saw him playing when he was talking about, I don't play Arena Best of 1 all that often right now. And from what I remember, it's like 4 copies of Authority, a couple Rest in Peace, 4 copies of this. This is like the only counter spell in the deck. And it's just a ton of board wipes, which is what I thought they kept on top. So that counter spell draw was everything regardless of what happened there. But, hey, I'll take it. Alright, so here we are after playing the list that did very well in Mythic, had a pretty good win rate. I saw Dr. Ruckus playing it. I can't remember who he said the player was. And we played Blue-Black recently, so kind of having this up. Is it in my... save and exit, I guess. I don't know what I changed. Is it in my... No, that's Mill. We played this super recently, right? And we played these, which I wasn't... These were good, but I don't know if like they were necessarily the best cards or whatnot. And you can see the vast difference, but the main cards were still the same here, right? And Tidebinder was pretty good. And realistically, any combination of this and some other nonsense down here is pretty nice. But we'll go back to the list we actually was playing before I get too into it. But here we are. And I think the thing about this list that I like is, one, it's a bit more... I don't want to say low to the ground because that's not what I'm meaning. But it's a bit more stocked up on the cards it wants to play, where like this is still the same rate, right? But Tidebinder we think is very good, so now we're on 3, and Preacher is just a really hard creature to remove. Still on 4 of these, still on 4 of these, but instead of 1 of these and like a random stab, it's just saying, hey, we're going to play 2 of these. And then with Phantom Interference, it's on 2 instead of Spell Pierce, because, you know, sometimes making that creature could matter whenever you're drawing a ton of cards off of, you know, during Curiosity or Kaido's helping you find extra lands and whatnot. And then 4 Deep Cavern Bats instead of 3, and then the Nowhere to Run to get around mainly in Best of One. This is going to help you against mono green, which we unfortunately didn't see with this card. But I could see a world where it's like, hey, kind of need to play more of these and maybe not a Bitter Triumph. But the problem is no real ways to answer Planeswalker without this. But I don't know if that's important enough to not just like double down on like Shoot the Sheriff or maybe even a Long Goodbye. But Long Goodbye you could also consider as narrow, but it is uncounterable. But I don't know how relevant that really is in a lot of spots. Whereas like Shoot the Sheriff obviously picks up the most. But Long Goodbye still answers big artifact creature. Bitter Triumph does the same, but I don't know if this card feels near as good as it could without an Enduring Curiosity in play. I think the one time we did it, we ended up drawing extra cards with Kaito because we just got things out of our road. But with all that said and done, I still think the list is obviously very solid. And I think Blue-Black is obviously a great place to start. If you like mid-range and like tempo decks, this is obviously a pretty good deck to get there. And it did have an incredible win rate. I will say I kind of auto-scooped the VV because I just honestly, outside of the first game, which I'm still considering. If it's not there, this is me cutting it in post. I'm still considering cutting it or leaving it. I just don't know. It's just, we played it in a way that was really good, so I want to keep it. At least I think, so you can see, because obviously if you're playing this deck, you might not just auto-concede to it. And when I say auto-concede, I concede if they have a VV in the graveyard and a Cauldron online. Like, I'm just not waiting to see if they get there or not, because it'll take 15 minutes, especially if you're against a pilot that might be a little inexperienced, and it's just not fun. Like, I was watching Ash's stream today, and he was in best of 3, and she was playing some random deck. I don't know, as she does, she crafts decks, right? So, as she was playing, just winning against Vivi, and I felt myself just being like, I want to turn the stream off. Like, not that anything she was doing was wrong. It was just every single time a Vivi hit the battlefield, her and the entire chat was just like, ugh, here we go. And I think the results obviously are very clear. People aren't showing up to tournaments because they just don't want to play against it and whatnot. And you can see a lot of channels talking about it. So I am kind of here to just cut every VV matchup unless I actually find it like a helpful game in terms of like how you can play against it if you do find it showing up in your kind of, you know, decks that you're going against. And I think that does matter, right? But if it's just my opponent plays a Fear of Missing Out, puts a thing in the graveyard, and plays a Cauldron next turn, and I don't have any way to stop it, I'm just moving on personally. I just don't think it's worth anybody's time. Like, I will take the extra 3 minutes to win a different game than the 10 to 20 to 30 minutes it might take them to figure out the combo. And sometimes they mess it up, and you can win because of that. But it kind of requires them to play poorly. So it's like a toss-up, right, of what you do. This deck, I think, is very solid. If you have this deck, I mean, if you want a craft kind of guide on it, and what I would say that you should craft or you shouldn't craft, one, all your 2-drops are incredibly good in terms of value, right? I think all this is very awesome and stuff that you can get to very easily. Obviously, it's a lot of uncommons, especially if you have a new account, if you're coming in from like maybe Spider-Man or something. These rares are interchangeable. For example, like Sissel. If you don't have them, just play the one of, like we have in the other list, and play something else. The priority 100,000% is these 2 cards right here. You want your 4 Curiosities, and you want your 3 Kaitos. This has been proven to be the math pretty much. Some people play 4 Kaitos, which is just too many, in my opinion, with how many cards you can draw. But this has been proven to be kind of the number to play in terms of these guys. Not 4 of these and 3 of these. It is 4 and 3. And you can run this with a lot of common and uncommons, and they will fix your problem. Outside of that, when it comes to the mana, the best lands to kind of craft, if you have to, are going to be these ones first. Because one, if you have a lot of basics in your deck, this card's going to work very well. Watery Grave is legal for like 5 years or something like that, so it's obviously the best. And then of these two lands, I think you want this one more, because you can also pivot to playing mono black as well. If you're like, I don't want to play blue today, I just want to play mono black with Unholy Annexes or something. This card goes in there, and it ends up going in a lot more decks. And then Restless Reef is a tap land, so you can kind of cause some problems with yourself. And you can play this as another thing. And then just fill your deck with basics. And Starting Town, very good. It's not needed, but it is very good to just maybe play. You could argue, like, if you have 4 Starting Towns randomly, you can just cut the reefs down. But having a lot of basics in a deck like this is good, especially when a card like Sunspine Lynx is floating around in a lot of decks. So, priority, obviously, here. And you can also see the rare mythic discrepancy. Rares here. Obviously, not rares. Mythics, only 3. Rares here. Of these cards, Tidebinder is the most important. Outside of, like, if I'm saying between these two, I think Tidebinders are... Yeah, Tidebinder is the most important. You could get away with playing 2 of these and maybe go for a double Sissel. I think 2 of these is good. A 2/3 Death Toucher in the early game is pretty strong against some of the aggro decks like Manifold Mouse or... Yeah, no. Artfire Hero. No. Is it Manifold Mouse? The 2/2 Haste Prowess one. I don't remember. It's really good at blocking that. You take 2 damage, but, you know, it helps you from taking like 7. And this can't be Burst Lightning or Torched out of the way very easily. So it's obviously very nice there. And then if it ever flips, it's just 4 life indestructible creatures swinging, and that's obviously awesome. But, yeah. Deck very solid. I think this is a very good way to get to Mythic. I think it's... I know this is going to come kind of in a... not... I'm just going to say it, and hopefully this makes sense. I think this is a pretty good budget option as well. And I know budget being thrown around, but like... Dude, there's a ton of rares in here. There's mythics and stuff, the mana base. But if you're talking about a tier 1 deck that you want to get good with and you have the budget for one deck, this deck is going to reward you for being the best with it. And that is what this deck does so well. And it's just so hard to interact with. For example, flash things are just so tough. And then your removal suite is so diverse and open. You can always change it around, kind of put cards in, take cards out, and really let the deck form around yourself. Because the thing is as you're a player, you can nut deck for so long, and then you have to make the changes to what you're playing against. What works for one player in this deck is not going to work for another. That's why you can go and look at any tournament results, and blue-black changes all the time because of what the players are playing against or what they're expecting to show up. So does Long Goodbye matter? Because I think people are going to play stuff that is going to counter this, like Spell Pierce. Then I need to play Long Goodbye. If they're not, then I can throw an extra Shoots of Sheriff in, right? So it's kind of how you have to think about it whenever you're playing this deck. A very long outro here. I just wanted to kind of talk about some things as well. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.